For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation in the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals, tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
All right. We're back with another lunch break play-by-play edition. Of course, I'm Dustin Jackson.
I'm Ryan Hagan.
And I'm Lexi Armentrout.
And man, we got a show for y'all today. We got
excited.
The myth, the legend, Mr. Brett Berry in with, he's an aviation detailer, right?
Yep, with Shiny Jets.
Shiny Jets, okay. He trains detailers to detail airplanes, right?
That's right.
Man, I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. And I know we got some cool questions lined up for him today to find out all the ins and outs on aviation detailing.
Oh, yeah. You can check him out on social media and look at some of the jobs, man. He's got some big jobs out there.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I mean, check out that shine right there. They don't call them Shiny Jets for nothing, right?
That's right. Yeah, true to form. And you know what? That's just absolutely beautiful. Can you imagine working on something like that? I mean, that's amazing.
I'm curious if he's scared of heights, and these detailers as they go up there. I mean, think about how high those planes are.
Lexi, the plane's on the ground while he's detailing. I think it's on the ground.
We should probably find that out for sure, though.
But listen, look, we're going to get enough to that. We're going to hear all about his story. We're going to hear everything about him. But first, let's talk about the real reason we're here, and that's lunch break. What do we have to eat today?
Hey, guys, we're going to be sampling some Southern traditions down here on the Gulf Coast. We love our seafood. We're going to be sampling some things from Wenzel's Oysters house. They serve up their oysters fried, stewed, or nude. Yeah. But, Ryan, I know the crab claws are your favorite.
Claws?
Boy, I'm going to put my paws on some of them claws.
You better keep your paws off my claws. No, listen, let me tell you something about Wenzel's. We love to hang out up there. It's kind of our little family thing. We go up there with my dad and stepmom and wife, and we go have beer at the bar. But let me tell you a cool little story. Me and Trey, and Trey that works for us, and my dad used to go up there, and we called that our meeting. And at 4:00, we used to go tell everybody we're going into a meeting, and we'd go up to Wenzel's and drink beer in the afternoon. So the little, if you ever hear us have a meeting at around 4:00, you know where we're at. But listen, hey, one thing I want to talk about today, before we bring Mr. Brett Berry on, is this thing's going on in these Facebook groups, and it's driving me nuts. We talked about it on Pikes and Polishing podcast on Wednesday. I talked about it on a live in our Detail MVP group, Detail Bookie MVPs, and it's this hiring. And it's these detailers. Look, the business is booming. We're all growing. We're all doing big things, and everybody's bitching about hiring. And I know it's a problem. Yeah. I get it. But it fixes nothing to go online and complain all the time about people not showing up, or people not coming to interview, or people not wanting to work. I mean, what are you seeing out there, Lexi?
I mean, I see it as if you are having to hire right now, you're at a point in your business where you are growing. Right. And so I think if you're having to hire people, I think that's a great problem to have. I mean, I understand it's very frustrating right now because you're not just competing with other businesses right now. Right.
That's right. You got the government to compete with.
What that happens, though. These are great problems to have, like businesses growing. We could listen. Last year, we were complaining about being shut down.
That's right.
Now we're complaining about needing to hire and not being able to.
Well, not everybody's complaining. I mean, if you look at Delta Bay, they just put on a couple of folks.
That's right.
Lewis from Top Notch is putting on folks. I mean, left and right, we see people are actually doing the hiring. But there's those people out there that can't seem to get them on. What's the holdup?
Right, but let's talk about this. Right, this is a great problem to have, but you got to make yourself attractive. Your business, you got to have a reason for somebody to come to work for you.
Yeah.
And, we try all different kind of things. We have an incentive bonus here for our detailers. We have PTO that they earn, through time of being here. And you're competing with these other businesses, these Fortune 500 companies. You're competing with the government. But you know what? If you want to grow and you want to get bigger and do these things, this is what you have to do. And you have to go to work hiring for your company.
It's time to get creative,
that's
right?
Exactly.
I mean,
right.
I think that's where we're at is If what you're doing isn't working, then it's time to try something else.
Exactly. But that's, that's the fun in this thing. You could be working as hard cleaning a wheel like the truck behind us, or you can be inside on Indeed, creating an ad out there to bring in people to hire for your business. It's a fun part of the business. I love it. To me, when we're hiring, that means we're growing, and it's a potential to grab somebody that's really going to change the way that you run your business and do your business. And it's just phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things to do is hire.
And you can't just look for X, Y, and Z in an employee. You have to kind of take them in and then find out what they're good at. Matter of fact, Lexi, didn't you actually come to get a job as a detailer?
I did actually. I came in and interviewed for a detailing spot. And after talking with the office manager and talking with Dustin, they were like, hey, your skills are definitely not going to be as a detailer.
It was immediately after talking to you, I knew you were not going to be a detailer. But you know what? That's the thing about it. You got to be quick to realize that. And also, it doesn't just happen during the interview. Mm-hmm. It happens the whole time you're working here. If we need to transition or change what you're doing for us to get the most value and to make you happy, you got to love to be here.
That's right.
You're here with us more than you with your family. So that's what you have to know. And it's my job to make sure that you're in the best position to cater to that.
That's right. Instead of focusing on not being able to hire, why don't you focus more energy on doing the interviews, getting those people in the door, and if talk it into existence, make it happen.
Just work on that process.
That's right. Talking about having the right people in the right seats, right? We talk about identifying that, being able to talk about how it is hard to hire people, right? Uh-huh. But once you have them in the store or once you have them in your shop, it's that point where you can really start diving into that. We talk about processes, we talk about having that in place, but it's time to dive into that. We've spoke to having the right people in the right seats, but sometimes you have to look inwards. I know it's really easy to say, hey, this sucks, right? There's free money out there. How do I convince people to come work for me and do a job versus sitting at home on the couch and getting a paycheck?
Well,
right?
how many times do we refer back to running a business as it's sales? And you got to sell yourself. You got to sell yourself to the bank. You got to sell yourself to your employees. Yep. You got to sell yourself to your customers.
Yep.
It's sales no matter what. Right. And it does not change when it comes to hiring. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell your business because you're asking them to commit a large portion of their life to you, and you better be convincing of it. And you got to understand that yourself.
I saw this article on Facebook where down in Florida, there's a franchise of McDonald's who are offering people $50 to come in and do an interview. That's insane. You go in, do an interview, whether you get the job or not, you get $50.
Ryan, stay away from Florida.
I'd be all over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got an hour to spend. I'm thinking about running down there for an interview.
Hey,
yeah, a 20-piece and a $50 bill, man. I'm down.
That's
no,
awesome.
but you know what? Hey, you got to get creative. McDonald's got creative.
That's right.
Are they sitting around on Facebook groups complaining about nobody showing up to their interview? Or are they giving somebody $50 to show up to their interview?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So what are you doing to correct the problem? What are you doing besides sitting on Facebook groups and complaining about it? Go out there and fix the problem. You know what? Are we ready to bring Brett Berry on? Or are we still, I think we're waiting on him, but listen, there's plenty of time to talk about this conversation. There's plenty of content because we see it all the time. It was really cool on Pints and Polishing too, to hear the difference in our style of employment versus like Nick or Rob. And them, a lot of them are I think they offer some like commission or
and I think being flexible about your methods is very, very important, because when you're a smaller shop, something may work for you, but as you start offering employees, you may have more things available so that you can start offering different kind of incentives.
Absolutely.
And you really need to have that conversation, because what motivates some people may not motivate others.
That's right.
Some people are motivated by money. Some people are not motivated by money.
That's right.
Some people are more motivated by, like you said, the work and who they're around and the environment that they're a part of. So think of it as like a culture, right? So if your detail shop is a culture, these people don't feel like they're going to work. Right. They feel like they're doing something that's valuable. They're passionate about it. They could take pictures, get shout outs, be able to kind of create their own fame in the detailing world. There's all these groups where, you get to make posts about your work. how awesome would it be to start hiring employees, and now the guys that you're training are out there getting recognition?
Right. And we kind of done that here at EZN organically by putting guys on camera, and it started out rough. I mean, they didn't even know how to take it. And now it's like they want to be there. They're, that's they're showing off their work, and it's awesome. It's not just, here detailing cars or boats every day. I'm on camera, I'm showing off my skills, all my friends see it. There's more to it. This is more than just a job.
I like the fact that somebody said, the people you should be looking at hiring are people that have bills, that have
somebody
kids.
that has to work.
That's right.
Somebody that has to work. Don't depend on someone that doesn't have to work, because they're not going to be there.
Right.
Absolutely. And Marty was kind of blown away that you, and I think it was Nick and Rob, both kind of had the same perspective that, if somebody shows up late, you know what I mean? That's like the only thing that you have to do, right?
It's the kiss of death. Here, the way I put this, and I tell everybody when I interview them, and this really goes for my shop. We're really strict in our shop. We have a meeting at 7:30 sharp, and I'm talking about eyes to my eyes, 7:30, not, pulling in the gate at 7:30, because it takes zero skill to get your ass out of bed and get to work. 7:30 is not late. You get here, you're on time. That's the first step of the day, and you get that under your belt, and you're ready to win the day.
What happens to the last person that shows up?
The person that shows up after 7:30 gets to go home for that day.
That's right.
Yeah, they don't stay and work. They're gonna try again tomorrow. That's a famous line: try again tomorrow. Go ahead, try again tomorrow. And then some of them come back, some of them don't.
It's all about accountability. That's a part of that process that we speak to is, you set expectations, but you also have to hold people accountable, because that's the whole goal of this thing is if you have a certain expectation,
that's right,
we want to make sure that we meet it. And talking about expectations, I know that Brett Berry has high standards when it comes to detailing. So let's see if we can bring him in and talk about this.
Let's do that. Let's try to do that.
There we go.
All right.
What's up, Brad? Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, guys.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good.
I don't know I'm Dustin, by the way. I think you've talked to Lexi and maybe Ryan before.
Oh, yeah. We've had,
okay.
Yeah.
So
I messed up on the time. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh man, don't sweat it.
You're good.
Don't sweat it. We're good. All good on our end. But we were just.
I had it all planned out. I was going to have a background of a beautiful warbird. Yeah, I was like, I'm just doing laundry right now. I messed up on my time. My apologies.
Well, you can show us the laundry. How about that?
Yeah, we're actually.
That's important too, man. That's important.
That's
awesome.
Gotta have clean clothes, man.
Right.
So we were knee deep in a conversation about this thing that's going on in detail groups, and we had a great podcast with Pints and Polishing last Wednesday about it, and it's hiring in the industry, and everybody's busier than they've ever been, it seems like, and everybody's hiring, and they're complaining about nobody wanting to work, and I get it because I go through the same thing over here myself. Are you facing any of those challenges, or do you have any of those problems?
Yeah, definitely. And then people think that like, oh, it's just washing and this and that. Like, my son needs a job. It's like, nah, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like.
So in addition to detailing planes, do you also fly? Are you a pilot or do you have
I'm working on my license.
Okay, right on.
I'll have it finished this year.
Lexi had an interesting question about whether or not you are scared of heights.
Yeah, I was looking through some of your videos and I noticed in one of them, like y'all spend a lot of time on the top of that aircraft and over on the wing. Are you scared of heights or any of your detailers?
Yes.
Like, is that something y'all have to overcome?
Yes, I hate heights.
Oh,
See,
man.
I totally misunderstood that question when you were talking about it earlier. I was like, Lexi, the plane's on the ground. Like, he's not flying. He's not detailing it while it's in the air. Like, what is he scared of heights about? I get it now.
Yeah, like he's on the roof of the plane and he's sitting there, with a buffer going to town. And I'm just like, man, that's like 20, 30 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And you're not tied off to anything.
Yeah. On Saturday, I mean, we should be, but it's not always possible. Yeah. So I won't go into that. But
I was going to say, can we edit that part out for my insurance company as well?
Yeah. Like on Saturday, I have to go up 28 feet and then get out of the scissor lift onto the tail of the aircraft. So it's like,
That sounds
Yeah.
terrifying.
So we do a lot of marine detailing here at my shop, and we experience some of that when we're going up to the towers on the boats, climbing all the way up. And funny story about insurance companies are we had shot a video one time, and we were harnessed up, but we were really doing it for marketing. So we had the guys wearing a harness, and he was roped up. We really weren't that high. We were like 15 feet. Okay. But we were playing it up for our marketing.
Yeah.
And I called from the insurance guy the next day, and he's like, hey, these guys are following your Facebook page and they see that you're roped off. How high are y'all actually going? Because you're only insured up to like 20 something feet or whatever. I was like, look, dude, I said, we're just playing it up, man. Don't sweat it. The boats are only going to be so tall. Really.
Yeah.
You got those big tuna towers, those things.
Yeah.
How high are those things?
Well, they're 20, 25. They're under 20 feet. I'm sorry. They're under 20 feet. Let me repeat that. Under 20 feet. Right around there.
So now, Dustin, you had actually looked into getting some insurance for aviation, right? And there was a little bit different.
Yeah, I did. So we detailed a little, I think it was a Cessna. For a friend of mine. And so it went really well. We ceramic coated it, polished out. He loved it, absolutely loved it. So we were like, hey, this is something we could probably see ourselves doing. And so I called my insurance guy, and he started, looking up, giving me quotes and stuff. And it was just outrageous amount of money. And I'm like, man, this is really, I need to really think about this. If I'm going to include this in my business model, I need to really, dive deeper. Is that the norm, Brett? Is that commonplace for the insurance to be extremely high?
That's what guys are running into, but my insurance agent kind of fights with the airports. So you'll go to the airport, you ask the company basically, or the airport, like, oh, what do you guys require for insurance for aircraft detailing? You get that, you take that paperwork to your insurance agent, he's going to review it, or my guy does. And then he's like, well, I don't really see a need for this or that. Like, that's outrageous. And then you'll go to the jet center. And I usually just tell them, I'm like, hey, I have the requirements for what the airport requires for insurance. I'll additionally insure you. We additionally insure them. Doesn't cost anything.
Sure.
And then sometimes you'll have bigger aircraft charter companies say, oh, we require this insurance. And then that's where you can go to bat. It's like, okay, well, you're just going to pay more, or I'm just not going to do your stuff. And so
insurance on planes it goes kind of plane by plane, depending on where you're at. Is it, or by airport? Maybe it
depends on the airport.
Oh, airport. Gotcha. I got you. Okay. So marinas are very similar. In the marine world, marinas require different insurance.
Types of insurance, right.
And so we fight that battle with them. But the overall is not that bad. Yeah. So
maybe. Well, Brett, I have a question. So let's back it up, because I know that there are several people tuning in that may or may not know your story. So I want you to maybe touch on how you got started with training detailers and how you really got into detailing aircrafts.
Yeah. So back in 2000, I used to, I'll make it as quick as possible, kind of give you my vision. So I used to operate heavy equipment, and we would grade house pads and streets for developers here in San Diego. And I noticed, I knew the owner, I hunted and fished with the owners. And basically, I broke my back riding dirt bikes, and I used to detail for a company. I was like, I don't want to go back to work for someone. So I started detailing cars. And then he had told me, he's like, oh man, it's like really slowing down. And he actually came and worked with me one day, because like his wife was tired of him sitting at home. And when the economy takes a dive, the developers the developers stop moving a lot of dirt. They're like, we've already got all these house pads cut. We're just going to keep building the houses. We're not going to cut any more roads. We're not going to cut any more house pads. We're done with moving big dirt till the economy turns around. So in early 07, I saw it, and I saw the signs, talking to my buddies, and I was like, oh man, who's going to have money still when the economy takes a dive? And I was like, honestly, I just didn't want to be an auto detailer. Like I'm more of a business person. I got nothing wrong with that, but that's like what I'm all about. And so everything's just a stepping stone for me. So I mean, we had great accounts. It was fun. We did the horse races during horse racing season, all the jockeys, trainers. It was super fun accounts.
So,
But
you saw an opportunity in the market, and that's kind of what carried you into the aviation detailing, because everything else was slowing down. You business first, say, hey, we got to make a move. Yeah.
Who's going to have money still when the economy takes a dive? Guys,
right,
the jets.
right. Yep.
That's right. That's that.
People who own the jets. That's what you said, right?
You know, and I'm very similar myself. I mean, when we started the detailing business, of course, I had a passion for detailing, but I had a passion for business. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I've had businesses my entire life and own multiple businesses now. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear someone else say that, because it's kind of in this industry, you kind of have to say it a little bit shamefully if you're not like, oh man, I wake up every day to vacuum carpet. Okay. But that's just not the case. It's just not. I wake up every day to run this business and be great at it. And I'm so happy to hear somebody else say that,
So since you are business minded, what made you start wanting to train other detailers? What steered you in that direction, Brett?
Well, my dad is a world champion taxidermist and fish carver.
Wow.
And he's a sculptor. He sculpts bronze gorillas for zoos across the country and stuff like that. And I remember growing up, he was always on the phone helping other guys out. He was like, this guy's like, oh, how do I carve this fin or this or that? I can't like do this or that. And my dad would be like, it has this many spines in the dorsal fin of an Apache brown trout. I'm like,
that's awesome,
man. So we pull a fish up from like 5 miles off the coast and never seen it before. My dad's like, oh, that's this and this, like,
how cool is that?
So he's very precise. He's very I can't think of the word, but he's just
detailed.
on it. He's on it. So and aviation detailing has given a lot to me, and so I wanted to like give back, and then also help other people out who are willing to invest in themselves as well. But also there's so much bad work done in the industry. Very old school tactics. Every aircraft I see that comes out of a paint shop, after about 2-3 washes, all the holograms show up.
Right.
I'm like, oh. And it just ticked me off, because I knew what we could do, and I know what we could provide and add value to the industry, as well as save money for the industry. That's why I started studying and testing different processes to help protect and preserve aircraft.
What does the training session with you look like? Whenever you do your training sessions, what does that kind of look like?
Our training, we do them at Threshold Aviation in Chino, California. It's a huge repair station. What a repair station is basically a maintenance shop. They work on all types of aircraft. The hangar's loaded with Gulfstreams, a lot of big jets.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what I like to do my trainings, where people can see what's going on, how the industry works, how the facilities work, what they can see pretty much how crazy it is.
Right.
Yeah, so much with detailing is hands-on. And these guys learn from a book or just watching video. You got to get in there and get hands-on. And I know that you probably, I guess you maybe offered some online courses as well.
Yep.
But it's, man, to get there and to be able to show someone in person and all, it's just really hard to replace that, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people that, they've been detailing for years, and they don't want to take the time off to 5 days to come to our training. So, and they've been detailing for a decade or so, and the aviation course, online course is their jam. Or for instance, there was a guy that did some detailing and bought my online course and is able to get up into bigger projects, offer more services, create more revenue. So that just happened for me. A customer last week bought our online course in Sweden. So with travel restrictions, you're not able to possibly come to our training. So that's why I built the online course.
And don't you have limited seats in your training too, Brett? How many slots do you have for each training?
5.
5.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
See, that's good. That's personal. You know, I
Mhm.
see these training events with 20 or 30 people involved, and you don't get, it's not personal.
I did that.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I've been to them. I've been
Yeah,
to,
it's
and
not.
it's just like, man, it's sit on your hands and while you're trying to learn. And I like, limited number of group, you really get the interaction, you get the one-on-one, and that's where the value is, in my opinion.
And we
Yeah,
talked
I agree.
earlier, and we
Mhm.
talked about your training, and you and I had a conversation of what's included. So that way, if we had anybody who we talked to that may be interested, to maybe give them a quick overview. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to these guys who are tuning in right now about what's the like most important thing that they take away. And when we talked the other day, I know it definitely revolves around safety. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about how important that is when it comes to detailing aircrafts.
Yeah, a couple things you would run into, is safety. There's two things, is safety, or three things actually. So safety, what we do is we're worried, my guys, myself, my trainees, they understand the parts of the aircraft. They understand what the parts do for the aircraft. They understand how the parts can deteriorate and how you detailing with a buffer, say you've got an aileron or flaps, and if you're just hitting it with the buffer and it's rattling, it's deteriorating those joints. It's, so it's like you hold the flap with one hand, and then you have the buffer on it, so it's not rattling. You're not overheating the surface, so the panels are popping from heat. Because it could be in a square of rivets and you're polishing in between, it heats up and it expands, so it pops up or it pops down. That just wears down the aircraft over time.
So I think it's safe to say that it's a little different than the trunk of a Honda Accord, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there. Yeah.
So yeah, and also too, is creating a relationship of safety with the pilots and the owners. After you clean it, chances are you're not going flying in it, because that's thousands of dollars an hour. So
sure.
These guys, you don't have to hop in the plane after you're done with it. So these guys have to be able to trust you to work on their aircraft.
That's right.
And then also too, if you don't do a good job on the interior, which is the most important part, you're not going to hear about it. The pilots could be on a 5-hour flight having the owners complain that the interior is dirty. Not you.
God, that's brutal.
Right. Yeah.
Now, one of our customers, Jess Glass, was really excited to have you on. He said that he basically described you as a detailing dork, and I think he said it with all the love in his heart. Just wanted to give Jess a shout out. And it looks like you've actually been, in this industry a while. You've got a lot of friends, made a lot of great contacts. Are you going to be at the Southern Detailers Conference coming up in June?
I was just looking at it last night. I saw.
Oh man, you gotta go.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll look up. I looked at it last night, and then I was going to check my calendar here this week and go from there, figure it out.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a lot of good training courses there. I mean, Daryl Lyons, he puts on a hell of a show, and I know that we're going to be doing a little 1-hour thing for our software. But there's a ton of people going. It's going to be. I mean, it's the first thing that's happened since SEMA 2 years ago.
Yep.
And man, it's exciting. I think we're all ready to get out and go see something. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah, because I went to SEMA my first time. And then it shut down the next year. So that was fun.
Yeah, so did we.
And then I got COVID at Mobile Tech Expo in Florida. So.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah.
How was that though? Did you?
It was fun. It was a good time.
Uh-huh.
I went out there. I did 2 trainings, and then I also went. I was like, well, I'm in Florida. I'm going to go to Mobile Tech. So that was fun. I went for the day.
Sure. Cool. Awesome.
But yeah, so to get back to 2 things. So I wanted to, 1, go over like kind of what it looks like at our training, and then 2, talk about Detail Bookie and like how it could expedite your process in what's it called, getting potential clients, and fast forwarding the process to actually have like a web presence and something that is smooth and easy for customers to deal with. So first I'll go into the training, and the training, what we do is so it's a 5-day training, our certification course. We took our online course, and we use our online course for the first 2 days of in-class training.
That's cool.
It's so precise, so informative. If I was to go up there and shoot from the hip, I can't even come close to what that online course, the information that online course puts out.
Yeah.
It's just so, it just goes over everything, and we're still refining it. I am starting to write the new one. It's going to be, I mean, it's already, if you were to watch it straight through, not take any notes, it's roughly 6.5 hours. I think the next online course I put out will be about 15 hours.
No kidding. You know, so it's information that you gotta have. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's taking in class, it's taking us roughly 16 hours to go through 6.5 hours of video.
Wow.
So, it's a lot of information. So I'm really excited about it. I put everything I had into that thing.
And then, so the next 3 days is hands-on training. I guess they're actually working on a plane or a jet or something along those lines to go put the information that they've used into work.
Yeah. So we teach them basically how the different aircraft surfaces deteriorate, how to restore them, how to protect them, and then finally how to maintain them. Then we go outside and we work on 3 different size aircraft. So we'll work on a single engine piston aircraft, like a 4-seater. Then we'll work on a turboprop, like a King Air or a Pilatus. It's a different engine. The exhaust goes down on the paint where the passengers can view it. It can deteriorate. So we teach them how to clean that. We teach them how to do de-ice boots, because those aircraft have de-ice boots. It's a pneumatic system that it's rubber on the front of the edge of the wings. It inflates with air to break the ice off. So those are very, you want to maintain those, because if you get cracks and holes in them, if they inflate and it can't break the ice off, if there's not enough air pressure in there, the plane's going down. So we teach them how to protect those, restore them, and then we go into, you know, your Gulf Streams and stuff like that. So we have full wash flow processes that we go over. So this is where you start, this is where you end. So that way everyone's on the same page.
Someone comes in, they don't have to have experience. I mean, they can come in as a, you know, just a novice and leave really having a great understanding of how to detail. And I mean, that's the whole plan, right? That's to get them from nothing to something.
Yep. And knowing the industry, working at a big facility like this. I mean, there's only one other training that I know of doing that for aviation, and that's Real Clean out of Chicago. I'm actually friends with Dustin, and his training's awesome. He's been doing it for probably 20 years, and he's an awesome dude. I love that guy. We talk probably every 3 weeks to a month. He's
you know, that's awesome to hear you guys doing that too. I mean, you know, so much in this industry, people want to butt heads and call it competition or whatever. But my mentality is we embrace that. Even our local detailers here. I mean, I'm friends with all of them, the ones that will be anyway. Yep. And you know, we do training. When I do a training course here, I invite everybody over to my shop, and I think that's that's huge in our industry, is to stop treating each other like we should be like we're competition and we should be arguing and fighting. We should be helping each other and growing this thing up. And it's awesome to hear you say that that somebody that's in your same line of business, training for aviation detailing, that you're talking to them all the time, that you guys are friends and you're sharing stuff, and that's how we get better.
Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to go fishing in Cabo here in the near future. Like,
all right, I'll make sure you have my number too. I'd like to, maybe I can make that trip. Not invite myself or anything. Yeah.
No, you're good. We'd love to have you. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, I see on these forums and stuff, people talking smack, and like I have people talking smack to me in some of my groups, and I honestly just boot them right out. I'm like, there's no room for people like you. Sorry, man.
I mean, Brett, we are a software company. We definitely think that when it comes to software, when we have those conversations, Ryan and I, when we're talking to detailers, we definitely think our software is the best, and we think it's the perfect solution. But at the end of the day, a software is better than no software. And, you and I talked about how software is impacting the industry. And I know you wanted to speak to that a little bit. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's another, that brings up a good point. Like, I always tell myself every morning, I'm like, I'm the best.
Yeah.
And then I see Dustin post something on our page, on our aircraft detailing page, and I'm like, you bastard. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just ceramic coating a Boeing 737.
Just right. I'm just.
He's like,
that's awesome.
No, but so that's where, like, I have struggled for probably 3 years on like how to build a website to where I could have customers reach out and look professional and this and that, where Detail Bookie, it's just plug and play. You're done. You've got landing page. It's got, they can pick packages, like all that stuff, and they can it just makes you look so much more professional, much faster. I mean, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars it took me till I got finally a customer called me locally, and he's like, you look a lot bigger than you are. I didn't expect you to answer the phone.
Right. And then that's so notorious for this in this industry, detailing as a whole. And that's one of the reasons why, why we developed this software is because we were, so my business was growing exponentially and I couldn't keep up. And it's like, it needed that extra professional touch. It needed that, hey, we're professional. We're going to do our job great. We're going to run this business great. But we needed what we show the customer needs to match that. And instead of a paper ticket, or I'm going to write you down and I'm just going to do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm going to charge you for it. Now it's in a system that shows the customer, it informs the customer what we're doing. It shows them how much we're charging for each service. And it gives them the assurance that we're doing exactly what we said we're going to do. It just ties it all together.
And it raises the bar, I think, for the detailing industry as a whole, right? Because if you're presenting it in a professionalism and allowing customers to shop for a detailing package the same way they shop online for anything else. I mean, where else could you go to be able to reserve to detail your aircraft?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how cool is that,
Yeah, that's what's great. I mean, I just, I think it is smooth and easy for them to book a job with Detail Bookie, but also too, you weed out a lot of probably junk work by having them fill out a lot of stuff as well. It's very easy and smooth, but the more they have to click, they kind of get up into another category where it's like easier and easier to close the more information they put. But it's not overkill.
Yeah, the tire kickers. So the tire kickers are kicking tires on their own time, and it's not with you on the phone. And then the next conversation, even if they don't book online per se, and they call you, they're so much more informed. And they're like, instead of saying how much to detail my car, boat, or plane, it's, hey, I see you have this package here or this package here. Which one do you think would be better for me? And now you've shrunk that conversation from 30 minutes of nothing to 5 minutes of just closing a deal.
It's educating your customer for you so that you can have better conversations when you are communicating with that customer.
Absolutely. And that's huge. I mean, like, where else are you going to get that? Like,
That's no, but listen, we're happy to be a part of this thing. Software is coming on strong in the industry. We are not the only software provider. We built this software specifically for my business about 3 years ago and used it to run my business, realized how great it done, and then turned around and rebuilt it to take it to market. So we know that I use it. You're in my shop right now, and we use it right here on the screen behind us is our software. It's our schedule for the day, and we use it every day, and we know what it does for a detailed business. So, I'm excited to see where this industry is headed with software. And I really think it's going to help professionalize and standardize pricing and just give us a better look overall.
Absolutely. Brett, before we let you go today, how about you tell everybody where they can go find your training classes and where to follow you on social media?
Oh, yeah. So you can find our training classes at shinyjetscott.com. I got 2 tabs up top. One says online course, one says certification course. Online is online. The certification is in person. So we got one coming up, I think the end of June. So I'm going to do my best to make it to what is it? The event
Southern
in
Detailers
Southern
Conference.
Detailers.
Yeah.
So I can answer any questions you got there, which will be great.
Oh, man,
And then you can find us on Instagram at shiny_jets_official. Same thing on Facebook, and then YouTube, Shiny Jets. You can find us there.
Awesome. Hey, appreciate it, man. It was great having you on. If you do make it out to Southern Detailers Conference, hit us up. You can spend some time in our you can spend some time in our booth if you want to. Cool. We could line up some stuff that way. Also, that Cabo trip, get with me on the dates. I want to make sure that my schedule's clear. Just throwing it out there one more time.
Start doing some curls, dude. We're gonna catch
every
fish.
morning, baby. Every morning, baby. I'm ready. Hey, man, thanks for coming on, so much, and appreciate your time. Wealth of knowledge. Can't wait to meet you in person, and look forward to seeing you again, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on as well. It was a really great time. And just one more shout out, Jess Glass. He told me I had to give him a shout out. So shout out. And he's been a good friend. And he's been raving about Detail Bookie. And so
awesome.
I'm really
he's
stoked.
A great guy. We really like him.
It stepped it like overnight, like once he got it, like overnight, just like boom.
Yeah,
he's exploding right now. I know he was looking for some help too. I think trying to just keep up.
Man, that gives me chills. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
I saw it. It wasn't like him telling me. I saw it.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. We'll see you.
Much.
Hopefully, we'll see you at Southern Detailers Conference. See you.
All right, guys.
So much.
Later.
All right, Lexi, let's bring in this food, buddy.
Y'all
We're
hungry?
starving.
I figured y'all were starving at this point.
What is it? My stomach's eating my back.
No, my stomach's gnawing on my backbone.
That's right.
Awesome.
Right,
well, we're eating down here on the Gulf Coast. Seafood is king, and it doesn't get any better than Wenzel's Oysters House. Wenzel's has been around for over 80 years, and they serve seafood favorites like gumbo, crab cakes, and Ryan's favorite, crab claws. This business is definitely part of the Mobile culture, and today's meal is being provided by Wenzel's out of Saraland, Alabama, and it looks like we've got some shrimp and grits over here. And so what you guys think? Y'all ready to dig in?
It looks absolutely awesome. There are no claws for Ryan's paws, but we have shrimp and grits, it looks like. And listen, this is not the cold beer I was looking for, but this will do. This will do. Wenzel's, I'll tell you, their bar, and as cold as they keep their beer. Is it good?
Fire.
Is it good? Good deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what, you can't beat Wenzel's. If you're down here in the South, go by and see them. Their oysters are fantastic. Their cold beer, I'm gonna say it one more time.
It's the best.
It's really good. We're gonna go ahead and eat. We had a great show. Brett Berry was just a wealth of knowledge. Next week's show we have
Detail Billy from Akron Pro Detail.
Yeah, and that's our buddy, man. He's a good friend of ours. Just a great guy in the industry, always supporting all the other detailers. Can't wait to have him on and talk about the growth that he's experiencing,
his tips and tricks, and what's got him there. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, he's training people up because he's hiring people every day. Love to see his daughter. Now she's doing QC. She's made her appearance on Facebook, and
they actually just brought on a new marketing guy. They posted it on Facebook, and I mean their pictures and their posts are definitely at another level. Can't wait to talk about that too.
All right. Well, listen, it's going to be a great show. We had a great one today. Thanks for everybody for coming out. If you have any comments or questions, don't feel free to drop us a line, shoot us a message, give us a call. Let us know. We want to hear what you want to hear, so that way we can get these things perfect for you. So see you next week.
This has been another lunch break play-by-play hosted by Detail Bookie. Join us next week for auto detailing news, interviews, and tastes of the South. See you soon.